Yo YouTube, Cobalion Council here, and today I'm here with another episode of Teachy TV. If you missed my previous video, you can go ahead and check that out, I guess. And in today's video, I will be discussing, of course, another subject, and this one is about tiers once again. I did do a previous video about tiers, so if you don't know what tiers are, you can go ahead and check that video out. In this episode I will be discussing Pokemon playstyles as well. So if you don't know what playstyles are, the main three, you can go ahead and check that out as well. But I will go ahead and start this video. The main reason why I made this video is because of the fact that a lot of people have been asking me, oh, I'm playing Smogon, but like a lot of people starting OU, but say like, oh, I don't like OU that much, or I can find my spin in it. And I will be discussing basically how the tiers are mainly just categorized and just can be categorized. The first tier I will be discussing is Ubers. I will not go over anything goes, because anything goes, it's just basically legend spam and using stupid shit. But if you look at the Ubers tier, what do you see in the Ubers tier? Well, it's basically all offense. Look at this team. I mean, offense. This is, I believe, semi-offensive, offense, and this is an offensive league. Ubers is really based around offense, and that's why stall doesn't really work in Ubers, because the tier is so offensively built that stall isn't really possible. You can make certain balance teams, but they don't fare to do well either. Ubers is basically bulky offense and hyper offense, but mainly bulky offense. Every Ubers tier has pretty much every Ubers tier has a stealth rock setter, because rocks are really nice in Ubers. Basically every tier has a primal Groudon and Arceus that fits into the team, and those are pretty much staples at bulky offense as well. And every tier has a setup mom. That's basically how Ubers works. It's bulky offense. So why is it bulky offense? Because of the fact that a lot of legendary Pokemons aren't that fast, and the ones that do just hit a certain good speed tier are bulky as well. Looking at Deoxys attack, Deoxys speed, Mega Gengar, those might not be the most bulky mons, but a lot of the tiers just basically bulky offense. And if you like bulky offense, I would suggest playing Ubers for once, because you can use a lot of different mons in other tiers. In Ubers I feel like you have to run certain mons. I mean, every tier is every team needs an Arceus and a primal Groudon, maybe Xerneas or Niveltal, Megamans. Those are really staples on teams, but you can vary in those as well, so it's pretty nice. It's not that much diversity, I feel like they have in other tiers, but it's nice bulky offense. You can toy around with it a bit, and it's pretty nice. So bulky offense, go to Ubers. The next tier I want to discuss is OU, and OU is just basically the jack of all trades. You can run every type of team. Just like I said, the main ones are hyper offense, balance, and stall. You can use all those three playstyles in OU, and like you heard me over say in Ubers, bulky offense, which is basically like mix between balance and hyper offense. It can be run as well in OU. Stall can be ran in OU. Balance can be ran in OU. Hyper offense can be ran in OU. Everything can happen in OU because it's such a diverse tier. You might see a lot of Clefaibles or Landorus, because those are just really spammed mons, but it's still a very tier with a lot of a lot of different mons, I should say. I mean, what do I find the best playstyle in OU? Again, everything. If you want to, you can use stall, but please don't use stall. I do find that stall, for stall, this is the best tier. Because like bulky offense, like I said, the best tier for bulky offense is Ubers. OU's best, I mean, stall's best tier is OU. Because you have Max Sableye, Chansey, Amoonguss, Quack, Weavile, even if you want to run ABR, Talonflame, Skarmory, a lot of stall mons are in OU. So if you want to play stall, I would suggest going OU. But basically it's just a jack of all trades tier, so I won't be discussing that anymore. Going into UU, and UU is a really fun tier in my opinion. It's a tier where I do find that stall isn't as viable, and you can run stall teams. I've seen like ones, I believe I've seen 2 different types of stall in this tier recently, but I don't find them very effective. UU is basically a tier that is, in my opinion, really like balance and offense is really nice in this tier. A lot of teams like Hyper Offense with Mamoswine is, for example, a really nice team that I use. I mean, Hazard Stack is really viable as well. Hazard Stack is just a gimmick. It's again like a balance team. Some weird team of Chimpact that's like balance as well. I've used Semi-Stall, but again, it's balance. We're balance. This is a really balanced tier, I feel like. Balance is really popular here. You can run Hyper Offense as well. Bulky Offense, I mean, it's a possibility. But a lot of the times when you run Bulky Offense in UU, I feel like you're a tiny bit forced to run balance as well. So if you want to run balance or Hyper Offense, you can go in UU. It's a really nice tier for that. And the thing that I do like about UU is that a lot of teams are very different. I mean, Mega Aerodactyl is amazing in UU, but again, I only have 3 teams, 2 teams of Mega Aggron. You can use a lot of Megas in here. Every Mega in this tier is pretty viable. You can use just a lot of different types of mons. I mean, some mons are better than others, but it's still fun. This team is from a while back. I built with a buddy of mine, and it might still have Shaman, but it's still a really fun team. It's not that good, but it's still fun. And if you want to run diversity as well, you can go UU because it's again a really diverse tier. Going to RU is a bit of the weird duck, I feel like. I don't know, het vreemde eendje, you say it in Dutch, but it means the strange duck. And that's pretty much how I feel about RU. RU might be the tier that I know the less, but here stall is a little bit better because of the fact that you have Govag, you have Aromatisse, you have Registeel, you have Fatfish, Alomomola. So stall is viable here as well. You can run balance as well. Hyper Offense it's still pretty nice, but I do feel like Hyper Offense is a lesser option in this tier. I do think that this is one of the worst tiers for Hyper Offense. I don't know why, but when I use a UU team, I mostly want to use a balanced team because it's viable here. Bulky Offense is really viable here as well, because this team, this tier in general isn't really fast. You have 2 fast mons in the form of Excelgor and Jolteon, maybe an offensive Aerodactyl here and there, but that's pretty much all that is very speedy. So bulky offense is probably the best playstyle in this tier, I feel like. And it's still fun, but if you want really speedy mons, I wouldn't suggest running RU, but it still makes for a pretty interesting tier. And now we are going into NU, and NU is basically, I have no idea how to explain it, but again, it's so diverse. I mean, RU is decently diverse, I feel like, but it's not. It's one of the less diverse tiers there, just ever, basically. But NU, again, it's pretty diverse. The only thing that is a little bit broken in the moment are Jinx and Tauros, I feel like. Jinx especially is just really annoying. But you can run so many different type of teams in here. You can run Rain if you want to. You can run Sun if you want to. Two pretty fun things. Balance teams are really nice. Hyper offense I feel like doesn't fare as well because you do have some bulk in here. So I wouldn't really suggest going full hyper offense. But if you want to gimmick around with weathers, you can. I mean, Rain in NU is really good. It's really good. Balance. This again is a tier that really relies on a setup mon on a team. I mean, I feel like every team needs some sort of setup mon. Normal spam is really good in the tier. You have certain defensive Pokemon that fare well. Magmortar is pretty good now to counter Jinx. And I mean, it's a really fun team tier. I feel like you can do a lot with it. So again, if you want diversity, you can go ahead into NU. If you want to run a little bit of offensive balance, you can go ahead and use it. I mean, stall isn't really as prevalent, it's just basically non-existent in NU, which is really nice. So that's pretty much NU. I'm sorry I can really go into detail and to explain why NU is so diverse, but I mean, a lot of these Pokemons are just not amazing, but not bad either. So that's basically, they're like the awkward the awkward ducks in the bunch, like RU is, but I feel like they have a spot to shine a lot of the times. I mean, Swallow is amazing finally in it here. You have mods like Charizard, which can be very cool. You have mods like Almstar and Mesprit, which are really cool. So a lot of mods do find their place to shine. And if you want to use certain mods that are in, I feel like you can build pretty much a team around anything in NU. You can wind up with a pretty nice squad, but it's mostly balanced. So that's basically where you need to go if you want that. PU, I don't have a lot of PU teams. We got Macho got banned, but PU is a tier in, I feel like it's one of the most the less serious tiers, because it's pretty much a fun tier. If you look at this list, they are pretty much all bad Pokemon, all mons that really aren't that good. And because of the fact that they are all pretty bad, I mean, some mons can finally shine in here, and that's the fun part about PU. You can actually use, like I said, in NU you can use a lot of mons in just basically, but in NU just build a team around it. But here especially you can do that. I mean, some mons like Unknown will forever be bad, but look at mons like Grumpig. I mean, Grumpig in game, it's always outclassed by some other psychic type, but it finally has just a place to shine. Rodent Frost finally has a place to shine. I mean, Rodent Frost is really good. Monferno is amazing. You have Floatzel, which is amazing. All these monsters were actually outclassed in our tiers, and it finds a place right here. And a lot of these teams are just basically bulky offense. I feel like, yeah, it's pretty much all bulky offense. That's one of my favorite playstyles. I mean, if I had more time in my life, I would put more time into PU, because I really want to find out a lot more about PU. So it's pretty nice and interesting, and it never actually ends. It's pretty much innovation that excites. Shout out to Phyllis. But the last tier I want to discuss is Little Cup, and I feel like Little Cup is a pretty nice team as well. It's it feels a lot like PU that you can use a lot of different mons, but there are certainly mons that will always be just better. I mean, Abra is amazing in this tier, Fletchling with enough support like a Trapper with Diglett, Omanite is amazing, a Moong is a Fungus, Miafu is just a lord. Rocks are really pressuring in LC because a lot of focus sash mons are used. Ponyta is just amazing, you can run it offensively, defensively. The fun thing about Little Cup, it's basically all hyper offense. It's basically all hyper offense because you don't really have nice healing moves to spam. You don't have those leftovers that are really viable. You won't just mainly have setup mons or just offensive mons in general, which is really nice. So if you want a tier where you can just have a lot of games after each other, so not really very big, large games of like an hour, which you can face in OU, for example, like games of like 20 minutes or a quarter, 15 minutes. But in the Little Cup, I feel like matches really go fast, and it's a really fast-paced tier. Not with speed tier wise, but just the games itself are really fast, and you run pretty much a lot of diversity. I feel like a lot of offensive things that are pretty just cool. So that's my thought on Little Cup, and those were basically all the tiers. So what's my favorite tier? Well, I stretched this enough. Ubers are pretty much my favorite tier, and UU, those are my favorite tiers because Ubers just feels really cool playing around with those legends, and whoa, crap. Ubers is well, you never know what Arceus form they have. You never know what Primal Groudon set they run. Xerneas is pretty innovative in this meta, and I do want to see how, because it felt a little bit still at a certain point, but now a lot of diversity is coming to Uber, so it's fun, just a crispy tier in my opinion. UU is just nice because you can run a lot of offense and balance, which are just lovely to use in my opinion. My least favorite tiers are OU, just because of the fact that and I don't want to say it, but stall is a little bit used more than other tiers, but that's not my main reason. It's basically just you always have to have certain like switch-ins for like dragon types. And you can't get your dragon type answer weakened because Latios will sweep you. Like Zardax with one dragon dance up is really threatening, stuff like that. And I do feel that a lot of mons are too powerful in OU. So if you play a game, it's pretty much all just the game plan is who can let his Wincon alive at the beginning of the match, who can pressure in them the most, and it doesn't feel as enjoyable as other tiers. And RU is, I feel like, one of the least favorite tiers, just because of the fact I hate Fatfish, Registeel, stuff like that. There's just the RU style is running around, and because of the fact that I will admit this is the tier I'm least experienced in, so I don't know, that's basically a thing that I despise of it. And if you want to build a team, it's basically all Blastoise, Diancie, Flygon, Venusaur, and if you want to use a Mega, it's pretty much always Mega Glalie, sometimes a Mega Cramorant. It feels a little bit repetitive for my taste, but it shouldn't withhold you for playing those tiers. You can just go ahead and use any tier, I would suggest you to try all the tiers before making a real decision on what tier you're gonna main, because a lot of times you do want to main the tier, but I don't know, it's your guys' choice. You can do whatever you want, but that's pretty much all I have to say about the tiers are, in my opinion, in my tiny little brain. But I will see you guys in the next episode, which will be, I have no idea what it's gonna be. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace. At number 7, we have Blaze Black and Volt White and Blaze Black and Volt White 2. Why am I putting these two at the same spot? Well, they're basically Black and White and Black and White 2. And I can compare the two because I love both of them. But Blaze Black and Volt White are interesting games. They're made of a guy named Traiano, which will appear later on this list.